My name is Margaret Ann Windsor. The name I have to use is Peggy Ann Dempsey. I'm married to Childers. I usually put up documents and other papers. I have been posting and putting up videos since about 2012 and videos a year later. Anyway, I just want to cut to the chase. I've told about my kidnapping and my real name. I've told about um, mind control murders. I wrote about them in MD: A License to Kill in 1976 till 80, and it's unpublished because they tried to kill me. It's how. But I had a letter from the FBI, ongoing investigation, national security involved. I wrote about programming people and mind control. And that's exactly what was going on prior to that, and it's still going on. The Fort Hood shooter, the Fort Hood, yes, he was a psychiatrist himself, and he finished college at Virginia Tech, where the mass shootings happened in April of, I've forgotten the year now, a few years back, the Virginia Tech shootings. What I wanted to say here, though, is cut to the chase. This is it. I wrote about the mind control murders, and these that I told about were done in patterns, and the book was unpublished. I was almost killed, and nobody's ever paid for any of it, my kidnapping, who I am, or anything. But Larry Flint was one of the subjects, and I usually show Hustler magazine because he endorsed me for the presidency, and I was out there in '83 to replace a congressman doctor I'd written about in the book, and the plane he was on was shot down, the passenger plane, KAL jet en route from Juneau, take note of the Juneau, the name Juneau, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea. And I'm flown out to Flint's, and I knew his was a programmed shooter that killed his attorney and shot him with a magnum. By the way, I was told by NBC reporter years ago that there's no way he survived that his insides were blown out on the sidewalk of Lawrenceville, Georgia. I lived in Marietta. Now I want to get to this. I've told about the mind control murders, and nobody seems to care. They want me dead. About my kidnapping, who I am. So here goes. The so-called shooter at Fort Lauderdale, they say they don't know the motive for him going there. Well, you decode it, like I've been telling you. The Anchorage, Alaska, the word Anchorage is a very key to this. He went into the FBI field office there, and he said to them that the government was controlling his mind, and they were making him view ISIS videos. Do you think you should stop and think about what he said and who he said it to? And they, of course, not they, the people have been responsible for hauling people off to mental health, like in Aurora, Colorado, James Holmes. That's not mental illness, and he's being given psychotic drugs, which is torture, for a non-existent illness. Mind control is a weapon, and it can be used in mass, or it can be made to create an illness or cure it. The Tesla files that were stolen in 1930. You mass army, or you program one person, etc., etc. And it's Anchorage, the word Anchorage, that links this back to a high-profile murder. Hannah Graham was one of the victims, and Jesse Matthews is in prison for the murder of Hannah, and the other one is the high-profile that connects to the Anchorage. And this one can be proven. I mean, it's done in patterns. There's no mistaking this. So I've told you over and over and over again, and I'm the one that suffered for my being kidnapped and for writing about the truth. Kind of reminds me of Julian Assange, doesn't it? He's framed. He told you the truth.